like really dream of mine is to like make my own poetry anthology. It would be an absolute dream come true. I love messed up shit, so I'm probably gonna really like this.
I look like I'm on craft. You blame it on practical magic and Jane Austen?
Hello guys, it's Amanda and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Today I am starting something kind of new. I am starting my first ever dedicated writing vlog. I have written things in vlogs before, not in a while, but I wanted to start specific writing vlogs. I was just in Barnes & Noble. Yeah, there was a lot of people in Barnes & Noble. Ideally what I wanted was to find a table to sit and write at, but sadly I couldn't find one, so I found just a tiny little table thing and I sat at a chair and it was not comfortable at all, and I couldn't really set up the camera well, and yeah, so I just wrote like a paragraph and then just decided to screw it and leave. But I did buy books, so books first. About 4 books because they're having another sale, so of course it hit me hard again. First book I got was Women Eating. This is by Kohda. I have heard so many great things about this. It's a kind of a different vampire story. It's not like any other vampire story I've ever heard of, so that's why I wanted to pick this up. I've heard many great things about it. It is a horror novel, obviously, and I'm super excited to start it. One of the most original vampire novels in ages. Delicious, by the New York Times Book Review. Then I got 2 books by Mona Awad. I have not read her work, but I do have her other book, which is All Is Well, and it's kind of like a secret history-esque type of book. But what I did was I got Rouge by Mona Awad. This is somewhat of a Snow White fairy tale retelling while also focusing more on skincare cults and the dangers of marketing and skincare marketing towards women. I don't know, I read the first page and it sounded beautiful, and plus I really love the cover. She used to tell you fairy tales at night, remember? Once upon a time, when you were a sad, dreamy little girl. Each night you lay in your princess bed, surrounded by your glassy-eyed dolls, waiting for her like a wish. Tick, tick went the seconds on your snow-white clock. The moon rose whitely from the black clouds. And then, knock, knock, mother whispered from your bedroom door. Come in, you called in your child's voice. And she did. She came and sat right on the edge of your bed like a queen, didn't she? Cigarette between her white fingers, exuding her scent of violets and smoke. All right, Mother said. Which story do you want to hear tonight? Belle, French for beautiful. It's what she called you, even though you were a beastly little thing. Not at all like Mother. She was fair, slim, and smooth, remember? Like someone out of a fairy tale. Like the dolls that lined the walls of your room. It was Mother who brought you those dolls. Positioned them in every corner, every nook, so no matter where you looked, you saw their glossy hair, their fair skin, those lips of red that were always sort of smiling at you, like they all had a secret between them. This I already love, and I'm so excited for it. Then I finally got Bunny by Mona Awad. I've heard that it's pretty messed up shit here. I love messed up shit, so I'm probably gonna really like this. I know nothing about it, I just know that it's messed up. Then I got a beautiful copy of The Scarlet Veil by Shelby. This is the new paperback, but it has beautiful sprayed edges, and I've been looking for this book for months now, and finally I found it, and the blurb on the front is, she lived for the light, he showed her the dark. I know that this is a vampire romance, and that's all I needed to know to buy it. So that's what I got at Barnes & Noble. I got my caramel latte, I got my caramel cookies. I'm a really happy girl. I'm going to head home and hopefully write some more there, and I'll talk a bit more about just my writing in general. I haven't really talked much about my own personal writing. I have vlogged in the past of like me working on essays for school and doing things for my English lit class, but I've never really shown my writing, like my own writing, on here, so I definitely want to start doing that more. So I will see you guys more at home. Hello, once again, in the car, on the exact same road as before. Hello guys, it's a couple of days later and I was going to talk more about my writing. I've always been writing my entire life. What really started my writing journey was I would like write my own like screenplays of my favorite movies. I remember I did it with Pirates of the Caribbean. You guys know how much Johnny Depp means to me. And so like I flat out just watched Pirates of the Caribbean and I wrote out my own screenplay of it as just like an exercise type thing. I ended up doing some episodes of like Once Upon a Time. So like that was what I would do. It's like I would write my own screenplay. Sometimes I would change different scenes and I would write my own, or I change like a plot line or something, but that's where I really started like writing for myself. One big project that I did, I just finished last year. It took me like 4 years to fully do. I like rewrote one of my favorite books in the other person's perspective. It was one of my favorite books of all time, still is. So what I did was I rewrote it in the main male character's point of view instead of the girl. I wrote it out and then I took so much time of rewriting it, and then I eventually typed it all out, and like I finished typing it all out like last year. How many years of work, and I like finished it, and it was really, really special to me. And I would say it was only like maybe 2 to 3 years ago when I started to actually like write my own content and write my own stories and things. So I really love writing. I write poetry. I used to have a notebook where I would write my feelings, and I would call them creative feelings, and I would just write a problem and I wrote it out, and I wrote it out as like a poem and just different things like that. I've written short stories and different essays, of course. I've been really focusing on my writing, improving it in any way I can, and of course being an AP literature student, learned so much from that, obviously. I've been working on different poems. One like really dream of mine is to like make my own poetry anthology with all my poetry, and that would be an absolute dream come true. So I'm working towards that goal, but also like I've been working on more of my short stories. So right now I'm fully working on a short story, but I'm trying to make it longer, like more of maybe like a novella more than a short story, kind of. I'm just challenging myself to make it longer than what I've written in the past and make it more detailed and go further into character development and having character arcs with different characters, and while also weaving in my type of like lyrical prose also into the story. But I really like fully started working on it for the past couple of days. I just love writing in general. I love writing anything. I journal every single day. Just the act of writing gives me so much joy, and it calms me down so much, and it just makes me feel so alive. So that's basically my plan. I am doing a creative writing minor in college, so I'll be doing a lot more once I get there in August, which I'm very, very excited for. Right now, obviously, I'm driving. I'm headed to a coffee shop. I'm meeting up with Katrina again. She appears in another vlog of mine, and just hang out there. After that, I might go to Barnes & Noble to see if I can finally get a friggin' seat, sit there and write for a bit, because I just love writing out of the house too. It gives me more motivation to actually write, because I actually go somewhere to write. That's the plan right now, so I will see you guys when I'm with Katrina. We have to do the things. Look at, there she is. Hello. And she's got the thing and the chopsticks. Us with our chopsticks.
Yes. It tastes better with chopsticks.
Yes.
It's on one finger. The bangs are banging.
The bangs are banging.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this is bad.
But she's on jet.
I look like I'm on crack. Okay.
Plant behind me.
Not look. Oh, this is. Okay, what do I do? How do we fix this? Bangs are a newer experience again.
She cut her own bangs the other day.
And
The day after I left, she cut her bangs.
blame it on Practical Magic and Jane Austen.
This entire outing, we've just been talking about authors we hate and bashing the authors that we hate. It's been fun, hasn't it?
Look at this.
Good. Our hair is curly and we're trying.
I look like a Victorian consumptive. I'm gonna go read some Poe and go cough.
Just there are two witchy vibes in one.
Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-doo!
No, do that. So, I am now at Barnes & Noble. I'm just going to hopefully finally get a freaking seat and just sit down and write, and I might read. I don't know what all I'm gonna do, but I'm definitely gonna figure something out. So, I'll see y'all in there. So as I said before, I am working on another short story. With this story, I kind of want it to be a longer short story. I have written a couple of short stories in the past where there may be 5 to 10-ish pages. With this, I would want it to be possibly a novella style, or length I should say. I'm really not sure what this will be, but I am slowly making my way through it. With this short story, I'm kind of making it a practical magic style-ish story while putting poetry elements to it and lyrical prose along with some witchy magical elements as well. I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah, that's the basis of it, and I'm really excited with how I've been doing with it. I write now by candlelight. I feel as though this is the best way to write, that all the best words are written by the light of a candle. I've just finished watching the Emily Bronte movie called Emily. I'm so in love with it. I feel so inspired after watching it, which is why I feel the overwhelming need to write. All I want is to pour my feelings out as if they were blood. Writers bleed onto paper with ink. It's funny to think the greatest masterpieces, Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, Frankenstein, were all just this, ink on a paper, written by candlelight. These women pouring out their soul's work as they bleed on the page. Now their blood have become a part of so many writers across the world, a part of me. I hope to be like them. Mary Shelley, the Brontes, Emily Dickinson. Strong women who have had the courage to write, to bleed on the page. I wish for my blood, these words, ink spilled onto paper, to be read all across the world as well. Till then, I will continue to bleed and dream by candlelight. It's been a bit since I filmed anything for this vlog. The last little bit I filmed was I was writing my book, or my short story, at Barnes & Noble. To be honest, I have not touched it since. I feel like I am experiencing a bit of writer's block, which really sucks, and it's such a frustrating thing to be in. So I haven't really been doing any writing since, but I have been reading a lot. Reading and writing go obviously hand in hand, duh. I feel like whenever I am in such a writer's block, stuck or in just a creative rut. I feel like I always get my best ideas while I'm reading or after I've just read for a while and I'm in that state of I just consumed a lot of words and consumed a whole story, and now like my own brain is going and I'm thinking about the story and now if I would change anything about said story or whatever, or my brain will just go into ideas of what I could write one day, if it's a story or if it's an essay or just anything really, or even I'll start thinking of like the review I'll write in my journal or on GoodReads about said story. Basically what I'm trying to say is that reading obviously helps me a lot for writer's block and creative ruts. Long wind of saying, I finished this book, Life's Short, Talk Fast. This is 15 writers on why we cannot stop watching Gilmore Girls. This is edited by Anne Hood. So this is a book of essays, 15 whole essays by different authors and writers of their experience with Gilmore Girls and how Gilmore Girls has affected and changed their lives and how they relate to Gilmore Girls, or some of them are strictly just reviews and editorial reviews about Gilmore Girls. I finished this last night and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I gave it a 4 and not a 5 is because there were a couple of the essays in here were very emotional, and some of them should have had some trigger warnings. There were some essays that had trigger warnings of like DV, I'm not going to say the words, mostly DV, and financial struggles, and of course relationships with others. I just wish there were trigger warnings for a couple of them, but that being said, there's not a lot in them, but there were, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 essays in here that had a bit of a more somber tone to them, and that kind of just took the 5-star away from me. None of that to say is that this is a bad book. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. I really, really enjoyed it. I tabbed a lot of different lines in here and some of my favorite essays in here. This being a book of essays, this really sparked my creation and sparked my imagination with my own writing, because I love writing essays. I was always that kid in school that loved writing essays, and I was always so excited for the final essay of whatever book we were reading, or I just love writing essays. So reading essays really helped me with my writer's block. The second to last essay in here is by Tracy Minkin, and it's called The Incredible Bookishness of Being a Gilmore. I think this by far was my favorite essay in this because it is all about the bookishness of Gilmore Girls and how Rory Gilmore is a reading queen and how the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge came to be and everything bookish. It's literally in the title. I can't really say more. Really spoke about how much libraries are important and how they were so important to Tracy, the writer of this essay, and how having access to these stories, non-readers watching Gilmore Girls and then wanting to read everything that Rory is reading on screen. And it really, really touched me, and it really spoke to me because it just basically like took from my soul of why I love books and why literature and the written word is just so important to me. I'm gonna read 2 quotes from this essay. Again, this is by Tracy Minkin. The first line of this is, "She had me at Moby Dick. Reading had propelled me forward. Reading was not only my habit, it had suddenly become my badge of honor. For the rest of my youth and into my adulthood, it was something I nursed, maybe even wielded as self-definition. I didn't just read, I was a reader." That paragraph just kicked me in the soul. What is it that turns young readers from voracious to audacious? Maybe it's happenstance, or even stance itself. While still in elementary school, I discovered easily accessible bottom shelf in my public library with a murderous row, literally, of the works of Edgar Allan Poe. The librarian let me check those books out without any kind of parental permission. Like many kids then, I walked for blocks alone to do things like go to the library alone. But there is no "you must be this tall to ride" sign at the librarian's desk. You want to read Poe? Here's your Poe. Just don't forget to return it on time. Having swum in the bookish waters of Gilmore Girls and discovered the passionate world of Rory Gilmore-inspired book club members, TikTokers, and Instagrammers, to witness a world of modern women and men reading with audacity is a deeply comforting legacy. To have an early aughts TV show with its crazily bookish star light up my laptop and remind me of how much reading has been a part of my life, how time is running out against the Harvard 13 million, and how I'd best put some things down and pick up a book. I loved this. I thought it was inspiring. I thought it was such a good read for any Gilmore Girls fan. So definitely reading different essays has helped a little bit with my writer's block, but I am still in a little bit of a rut. Needless to say, I am still writing. I'm always still writing. I hope you enjoy this type of content. I'm really, really optimistic with everything right now, writing and book-wise. And now I'm going to end off this vlog. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you have not already, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time that I upload. I upload every single week. And if you want to find me anywhere else for any more bookish content like this, you can find me on Instagram, GoodReads, Pinterest, and in between the pages of a book. And as always, remember to be the Captain Jack Sparrow of your story, and may your compass lead you to amazing things. And I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Happy reading or writing.